Business, what it means in business? Design for me is thinking pattern. In Germany, it's a bigger industry than the car industry.
Really?
Change mindset. Not begging, but investing. Don't forget that you are selling services and a client is a king. Investment's always about returns. You need to recognize that you are investing and just choose what kind of return you want. Conflict for creators, where are you focusing? If you're focusing on creating value, sometimes you lose the creativity, sacred thing. And if you invest in sacred things, you lose possibility to rise. Find people who can help you. That's an important thing. We are not self-expression market. We have clients.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Perfect. I have an icebreaker question for you. I read a recent study that Lithuanian people under 30 are the most happiest in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
We not emphasize another part that Lithuanians over 60s are the saddest population in the world. One of the saddest. Okay, not
but under 30 and the most happiest.
Yeah. So it's very radical shift.
Okay, why is that?
Because all which are under 30, they are born from 90s. It means people born in an independent country.
Mm-hmm.
With freedom, with high hopes, with responsibilities, and I think we got it on the first wave of optimism. Because the parents the system broke. They have a lot of hopes for their children to live in another society, another system. So we programming children that your life will be much more better than ours.
Let's go. I'll show you what I want to question you about.
Okay.
And share you the topics. I think I want to talk a little bit about design and graphic design, as that's your early career, and then about how ideas shape cities, your current focus on cities, and on collaboration that's necessary to make change happen, about creativity and how that creates value for cities, businesses, and about change and how to measure impact. About creative businesses and why creative people should do entrepreneurship and do businesses and learn how to do that. About leadership and building teams. And then a bit about your personal growth. And then we'll see how much you are willing to share with us. I wanted to start by just reading the credits that I have on your LinkedIn. So that's quite impressive. You're partner and operations lead at the Critical Research and Design Agency, and you founded multiple other design studios before that, and you're chairman of National Creative and Cultural Industries, that's KIK Lietuva.
Yes.
You're head of Lithuanian Design Association, you're a member of Art Directors Club of Europe and International Design Council. So that's quite a lot of your hands besides family and hobbies and everything. And how do you manage all of that?
Okay, tools.
Tools.
It's important. As much as I can, I try to automate as operational lead. So I have, let's say, accounting. So we choose the company which using AI to proceed all the invoices and all the things, and accounting is maximum automated and in the cloud.
What do you use? What tools do you use for accounting?
Robolabs. It's a locally developed startup. So for me, it's very easy always to be on the track, to do all the invoicing on all the things.
How do you split your week with all these responsibilities?
Calendar. What is not in calendar is not in my life. We also made a family calendar to manage the time of family, to have common sense what's going on and plan together, because it becomes very difficult to be spontaneous. So now I have a rule that Friday is always free from the meetings. So I make a rule. Thursday, it's all the meetings operational. Tuesday is the meetings which are for preparation. And also all the, we call ambassadorship meetings. That means Lithuanian Design Association, Creative Industries of Lithuania, and all stuff. So I have half of a day dedicated for ambassadorship. And I think that all, let's say, Lithuanian Design Association meetings we plan from 5 p.m. So it means that it's usually end of the day to focus on the business and then focus on the...
But why is design important to you personally?
Design for me is thinking pattern. You can apply thinking pattern to all the activities. So I think the design helps me to be focused on tasks, be analytical, go to process, which we call design thinking, And you see the patterns, how they work, and you apply, design thinking to understand, to analyze, and to change things, change the systems, change the processes to achieve something or to help for someone.
Can you explain design thinking? What do you mean by that when you use design thinking in your life?
Yeah, so one of design thinkings is uncertainty, when you go
and
exploring. You have to dive into the sea of signals to acquire them, to explore, and then you start to concentrate thoughts, behavior, and you come to a certain point where you are understanding what signals meant. Looking back, you can connect the dots, and then you have prototype, and then you can use it, in life. So you can looking for feedbacks, how it works, and then you do the next prototype. In the critical, we call it context thinking. When we merge with research, we understood that everything this happens in context: social, environmental, ecological, political. So we call it contexts, different contexts in which the issue or problem arise. And what research do, it's trying to understand all the contexts where it happens and give noises which we usually feel as signals as a person. So we convert it to the real insights or data. So you need to have skills to
recognize them,
to understand them, and convert them into language for, let's say, for designers, or in language for politicians, or in language for the decision makers. So the context is exploring.
So it's what you're doing now is quite far from the classic traditional graphic design that you started with.
Yeah. What's interesting is that you move on, and you do sometimes reflections on feedbacks, but you're always thinking when you're doing design. Same design, same things, but just outcomes you see, okay, 20 years ago it was like Vera Cafe logotype, which was at that moment, it's as much important thing as you do now with, let's say, worldwide scale things.
How do you see the state of design in the Baltics from your perspective?
If we compare to, let's say, East Europe, if we go worldwide, we're also quite high. How we understand design, the value of design, how businesses understand, and let's say governmental institutions. So Estonian Design Center and Lithuanian Design Association made a lot of work and efforts to recognize design as a value, not as logotype or as a color. So Baltics, I think it's quite high, and I call it, a very mature of a country, society, businesses, and public sector. And let's say, like in Korea, you have Samsung with 1,500 designers. So, Samsung makes influence to the whole design field in Korea. And the company, and let's say, like United States, we never had a design policy or some kind of stuff, because Apple itself is design policy. We don't need institutional intervention. And in small countries like Baltics, let's say Baltics or Croatia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, so there is interventions from public sector. So it means they investing in design.
Or we need strong companies who do that.
Yeah. And and it's both ways. The public sector makes better conditions when the businesses grows up. And when push the public sector again. And in small countries, it's very intervened. It's everything connected. To make change, let's say in United States or in UK, it's quite difficult, And the small country, the more easy to make a change or to pass a message. It's very easy in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania to go to government or to government institutions. You can meet them, on the street, and you can talk with them. So it's very easy to communicate, and change comes to the mind of the people who are responsible for the changes.
So what are the changes you're looking forward to seeing in the next, say, 3 to 5 years regarding design in the Baltics? What would you like to see?
Fewer things. I talked 2 weeks ago with Estonian, with Core Velvet. We were discussing how to foster exports from the Baltics.
Design export.
Design exports, as a service. Few questions which was connected. So, as we strong business, the business which has own brand and exports brand. Let's say Volvo, IKEA, Whirlpool. So, let's say Swedish brands are strong outside Sweden. So we create possibility for Sweden design field to be exported. Same with Denmark and not so much with Finland. And you can see, how Norway. I don't know if Norway exports design because I do not say Statoil, but not so much. So it's connected to strong brands, local brands, which goes abroad. Another thing, scale. Estonian company buys money transfer. All identity did in London, in UK. Why? Because, understanding the worldwide connections, worldwide things which is important, creating identities for the worldwide company. Because locally, it doesn't mean that quality of design wouldn't be better or worse, but it's most of mindset of project managers, strategy people. You need to experience something to wider your consciousness.
So you're looking forward to having more stronger businesses, and that would help to facilitate design as well.
And also investing in design industry. So the stronger all the design industry, we do from creative industries and from Lithuanian Design Association, we trying make government investment programs. So we have like design wings program. So we made 1 year. It means that 1 year young designers, which are like 3 years after graduate, are employed in the companies which never had experience of design, and they have mentors which are experienced people, and they mentoring for designers and for company, and they have real tasks to solve. And so the companies, they propose what issues they have or products or things. And at first year it was 20 companies, I think, and it was a great success. There was real products which was exhibited around Lithuania and all events like furniture, fashion, branding, packaging, UI, UX, and all the things. In governmental institutions, we, let's say, back at idea that we need to extend to a 3 years period.
And the government is paying for those positions?
Yeah, everything.
Okay, it's like a stipend.
It's like funding. It's they have money, so for people to administrate it. So there is an employee in a governmental institution which is arranging all the process, and we have workshops, and we have feedback sessions, and so on, and they have inviting guests from the government and from businesses. So it's as a hub, let's say, a hub of, and we used the idea, not very original. Before it was like we call export wings. So it was in Lithuanian Innovation Agency. We had a program for the businesses to facilitate the export. And it's the same story, young salespersons goes to the companies trying to sell abroad, and there is mentors which help. And also, okay, if you can do it for the companies, like businesses for export, why we can do it for copy, book?
How to export design? You need to understand the context. And when you're locally, you can easily understand the context. But to export design, that's challenging.
Yeah. We came to two conclusions. One way is to be boutique studio. Very specialized boutique studio. And what it means that you don't have project managers or management, you engage directly. So designers, strategy people, always in direct relation with a brand or with client. Example, Stranger and Stranger, packaging design studio. So we are doing just super high quality, strong alcohol, and nice design. And to be recognized as boutique studio, you need to fake it till you make it. Very specialized, nice things. And then you will get the niche of all the brands around the world.
Who needs especially that?
Especially that.
Okay.
Because let's say a huge market, a lot of money. Only United States, which has amazing amount of brands, money and interest, and they are very open to work with different cultures. And we also had few projects with United States clients, and we are recognized as a boutique studios, and we made them packaging design and also digital web design. So it's one way. But it's important thing, relation. Where is the middle, you want to make profit, good connection. So and it's even project manager could be issue.
Okay. So designers need to talk directly with the client.
And you usually, in boutique studios, you are everything in one. You are and designer and strategy and project management. You can do it. And what I saw in the last 8 years, rise of the design studio from Montreal, Wedge, WEDGE. 8 years ago, we were in Montreal with Jonas, and we asked to meet someone local to talk, and Wedge was just founded. It was like first months.
Okay.
2 of them, and the first product also was like packaging, and then like client gave as much as you want money to make something outstanding. They made outstanding. They got the award, and till now are still a boutique studio, and each work like award. So now we on die line and in the jury members, and they made themselves known. Yeah. So one way. Another way is we don't need very high quality design. We need good management processes. So usually, if you work with big companies, if you take design quality, you can get around the world at the same average, whenever you go.
Decent.
Yeah. Behance level. Imagine you are like the client. As employee, you don't need a hustle. You need to be problem solved in decent way. So for me, it's nice people, good process, and another moment of pride I'm working with. So what I choose, someone who can give me, understands how my business operates, the context it operates, give nice service. So I don't need, wait for things, wrong things, and so on. And then I go with my friends to drink a beer. I say, I'm working with them, It's very easy, simple, my rule, like Pepsi cars. Usually Silke was with you, I think, in the same jury in Napa. Yeah? So she's traveling now she's around companies called Palmolive, I think. So now So what she told, how Pepsi choose the studios or work with. So we found something what gets award or noticed on the Behance. So we asking to do the same thing. Not innovate, not make something different, but please repeat the same style, same. And we have a lot of products in the pipeline which are test products, some kind of And I usually have like 6 years ago it was 30,000 budget. All the companies like around the world had like for tests. It gives you 30,000 and testing how you can repeat the same design and the process, how you work. And if you both succeed, you can get the second test. And when you make 10 of them, so you are on the list of, let's say, 10 studios which are
selected.
How
would you describe a good process for a creative studio? What are the fundamentals?
1 million question. Don't forget that you are selling services and a client is a king. Client service should be good. What it means, you understand the businesses, you understand the structure, you understand who takes decisions, you understand how we operate, you understand the problems we are facing. And then it's very simple things. Organizing, project manager has to do each day, Delivery dates, the process. Another part is what they say, it's collaboration. We had last year also in ADC Lithuanian, like client is a king or its partner. One of the discussion members said, okay, what is the story about partnership? Bullshit, I can have partner at home, in business, but when you're selling something and buying, it's not about partnership. It's the angle of the question. I think partnership is very important, the trust. The trust built when you're quite honest from both sides. speaking about problems, sharing of knowledge. It's not, I give you a task, you deliver a result. Okay, so we have knowledge and we share with you. So take this knowledge and now share your knowledge. And where it intersects, great services and products arise, comes, and so this partnership.
Both sides.
Sometimes in design studios you have like shitty clients. It's not a good attitude. You can give that feedback, and we have like in company in the critical we have reflections on each bigger project. So doing all the process on the mirror board, and we do touch points, all the things, and you can say that client was not enough open or something, but it's not doesn't mean that he's bad or. So.
Yeah, I think that's actually a common thing in the creative industries, to badmouth the clients, which is not a good habit. And I have not seen that in other industries that much. I want to talk a little bit about how design and creative industries create value, because you mentioned that sometimes government organizations need to invest in design and support design, but also I think there's a notion that sometimes creativity and design is seen as like self-expression and more like liability from the business side, not like something that generates profit. But if you want to establish design and creative industries as something that creates value for the business, it has to change from it's my creative self-expression to something that delivers value.
Mm-hmm. Creative people, they are always creating. So for creative people, it's a natural process. I will call it content, okay? So poetry, painting, design, music, performance, it's content, okay? So creative people, they struggle to create some content. It's internal, and yes, it's self-reflection. At that stage, when you are doing something from yourself, I call it sacred.
Sacred?
Sacred. It's like, it's for you, it's very
important, yeah.
And some thoughts, what you write in your diary, you can keep just for you. And the moment you want to show it, that comes value. Think of the evaluation. If I want to show my creativity, I do intention to be, let's say, recognized, but how? Or I want to sell it. In both cases, here comes evaluation
of the work.
By the art critics, or public, or by buyers. How much you may willing. Sometimes it's intervened. And from that moment, you starting invest, rising the value of your works. Investment means you need, gallery to show your works. So you need to rent it. You need, communication. You need a Facebook page or a web page to show your works. You need to publish a book. You need to show things. And when you invest, it means investment's always about returns. And when you set the mindset in this way, you need to recognize that you are investing and you need return. And just choose what kind of return you want. You need attention, okay. So your reward is attention, or let's say mentions in the publications, status, likes, whatever. But just recognize it. Another thing, I want to earn money. So the price of a thing, always you can sell for the bottom price, and the more you invest, the profit goes up. Where is a conflict for creators? Where are you focusing? If you're focusing on creating value, sometimes you lose the creativity, sacred thing.
Yeah.
And if you invest in sacred things, you lose possibility to rise. And when you have a couple, so you need to choose people or find people who can help you. That's an important thing. Who can help you to manage things. And it's usually all design studios are like one is doing design, another one is doing, let's say, sales and accounting. It's patterns of all design studios. It's couples of some kind of expertise which helps to facilitate growth.
Yeah.
So growth, I mean the value rise, so the attention comes, the money comes. So. And then it's another question, what we have like in Ministry of Culture. So, okay, this is not high value art or content. And say, okay, so let's do some divides. Everything what is made and recognized as a valuable thing, so it's our cultural heritage. So put some efforts to make it available for the public, like Old Town.
Yeah.
Very simple thing, but you also have a lot of creative stuff which you need to preserve for the future. So what is recognized as important, we put it in a heritage. And everything what is done now goes as a content to the public for evaluation. And then as an artist, you have to choose target audience. So if I am classical music player, I know that my skills will recognize only very specific audience which has ability to recognize classical musical subtle nuance, because popular, or let's say mass, they don't have skills to recognize the value. If I artist, a performer, and my audience is professional audience, I go there, and my task is to be the best among the best, to make my content valuable, so it goes to the heritage.
In the future.
In the future. If I am popular artist, and usually I have more influence than professional, because let's say pop singers, and you go to creating very simple content, understandable, digestible for 60% of public. You also are part of creative industries, and you also have a lot of competitors in this market. There is evaluation markets sold copies and tickets, or streaming on not Netflix, Spotify.
Yeah.
And getting some stupid plate, you are moved to the heritage. So there is a register of heritage who was best performer, best blah 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 blah, and so it's how popular culture creates heritage. We have layers. And what is important to understand that all the content is important, especially, let's say, for the country. And for me, it's the best example is Korea, South Korea. We have Korea Development Institute. It's a lot of sectors of economy, but creative industries is one of the sectors as microprocessors. So you have chips, cars, and creative industries. And so it's government recognizes that it's like 5% of GDP. It's usual average around the world, like 4 or 5% of GDP. And if you invest, and it's a very good tool to export mindset, culture of being. And so K-pop, now you go in Paris to the music shop, and it's like special part just for K-pop. None other country has a special section. There is no American pop or British rock. You have K-pop and hundreds of crazy young people, and they will grow up. They will become decision makers. And my personal thing, Japan, Korea now making huge influence on the young generation. My daughters, friends. And you can see how they growing, traveling to Korea, to Japan. It's massive. It gives perception of special culture, what makes them great. And it's interesting what the value is this country is exporting. Hardworking, mixing old with new, mixing Korean with American, Japanese, all the things what they mix. I think it's a very interesting new wave. And I like to watch Oxford dictionary, how many foreign words they includes in each year in the dictionary. So the words which becomes everyday used in Great Britain. We have each year like 20 words from Korean. It's a huge amount of words becomes everyday language for British people. And for me, it's a good indicator of value, how you can measure the value. And for me was the idea, okay, so when the Lithuanian word becomes Oxford word. So it's good measure that we succeeded at something.
What are your personal thoughts on like different segments of design? You have performance marketing in design on one end, where you shout very loudly, but you can measure very easily the sales results, and you put brighter colors and louder words and larger images, and you kind of not trick, but sometimes trick people with design into buying things. And that's like very concrete and specific business goals that you can measure with design. Or on the other hand, you use design as something for the long term that just enhances the quality of life. For example, it's not a quick fix and you can't measure it, but that's like the true value of design. And how do you balance those two aspects when you think about design that provides value for businesses and for cities and countries?
Okay, so at the critical, we have like our North Star is impact first.
Impact first.
Yeah, so it's our like North Star.
But impact in short term or long term?
So that's the case. It depends on the task, but overall, we have like International Council of Design that has a conduct of design, means the like constitution of what is good design and what is good for people and planet and what is not good. So we translated this conduct to Lithuanian. So we have in the Lithuanian Design Association page all this conduct of design, and also we trying to live by this conduct in our lives. But we also understand that we are not self-expression market. We have clients. No, it's always chemistry between clients and studios. Not all the clients you can serve, and not clients comes to you because they see how you behave. They see what kind of works you made. So it defines and clients which will come. I think it creates trend or shift towards something. But to your question about impact, so it's very easy to measure digital impact, digital we call footsteps or tracks, and it's very difficult to measure long-term investments. While we are working with businesses and public sector, the business always is about return on investment and fast return. And governmental institutions or public institutions is about long-term impacts. So if you can bring them together, you can get, something valuable. So business can operate and work and do things, and the government invest in long-term impacts. So it's how we trying to balance things. So for me, operate in my company also, like, let's make money. We can do pro bono things, but we see it's very clearly also as a budget, as a project. We know how it costs. So to original estimation, and we call it investment. An investment in marketing or impact, but usually it's should be related to our business somehow, because we can spend on the AdWords or spend on TV advertising, or you can do pro bono things, and it means that you make something what you like or you admire, and also you make it's, let's be honest, it's advertising.
Yeah.
So don't fake it. After work, I can do for charity a lot of things, design things, and for communities and so on. But I trying not to disturb business
Main goal,
the processes, the things, and like people are orientated, towards something, and you come and you say, okay, now you do a little bit here, but but what's priorities? And my salary, depends on my results. And you say, let's make your results worse,
You've been in the design industry for more than 20 years. Probably when you started, there was like very bad internet connections, or even there was no internet at all. And then there was internet, then there were mobile phones. Now we have AI, and you've experienced many shifts of design and creative industries. how do you look forward? What lies ahead with the rise of technology and all this art, AI technology and design and creativity? What are your feelings about it?
Okay, feeling. One word: acceleration. We have the curve of, let's say, valve or curve of industries. It's like industrial revolution came, like goes and accelerates. And for me, it's like a huge acceleration. Also, acceleration creates tension because something's lagging behind. Acceleration drags somewhere, and 90% of people are years behind with mindset, with behavioral patterns, with all the things. So it will create a lot of tension. And I think that we can talk from creative part, but also from geopolitical part. It's, I think, also all the tensions in the last 10 years comes from technological breakthroughs. AI will be the next military asset, and so also creative asset.
Why do you think it's important to foster this entrepreneurial skill among creators, and how do you see it's possible to do that?
Business, what it means business? It means transactions, you know, fostering your skills of transactions. You know, money also is just a tool for transaction. You get something which can give you access to something. So usually creative industries employs about 10% of all people. In Germany, it's a bigger industry than the car industry. So,
really?
Yeah. So I'm going from very far question, but so what we did in creative industries, we asked Lithuanian data office to account creative industries, to understand how many people, average salaries, what percent of GDP in Lithuania are creative industries. So it was not easy task because everyone was recognizing culture as just, you know, not creating value, but asking for money and so begging.
Yeah.
You know, it's culture is always, you know, okay, like poor people asking for money. Lithuanian creative industries, it's for us a problem to attract the creative businesses because we are not industries, you know, we are culture, and we are not become the members, and we are not, you know, delete the word industries. But the numbers, so in Lithuania we have 55,000 people working in creative industries by register, and most important thing, it's the same in Europe and Lithuania, it's very, very, very small businesses. 1, 2, 5, 10
people.
And they are living in, let's say, chambers.
Isolated
chambers. There is not so many possibilities for them to talk about their problems together somewhere. There is no like creative startups, hackathons, and so on. And if they are, it's usually about design and UI and UX, you know, together with technology. But if you are knitting, you know, doing pottery or things, how you know, build your community and fostering each other and sharing the knowledge. But let's try to do business, you know, to be self-sustainable, don't ask money from, I don't know, government, from, you know, from parents, friends, or some, you know, don't beg, invest and change mindset. Not begging, but investing into something. I think context. It's very important. That words like context, revenue, profit, it's usually not in the cultural field context.
They're not used to those words.
Yeah, these words are from different worlds. You know, we are not from creative industries, cultural industries. And awards, yes. Recognition, yes. Value, no. Articles from art critics, yes. No, but we need to align things. We are too small to be divided inside if we won't go outside. So let's be united for one goal.
Thank you, Algirdas.
That's it for today, and thank you for listening. If you find these topics interesting and valuable, feel free to subscribe to Asketic Podcast at YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can also write us at hello@asketic.com, and let's build impactful brands together.